with what was known then as old people's pneumonia. Her mother's lungs simply filled up with fluid, and the doctors didn't have the means to take it off of her body. And I guess her mother finally drowned in her own fluids, and poor little Mary, 11 years old, watched her die. It was more terrible than we can imagine. At the same time, her father himself was in bad shape. Her mother died, I think it was in 35 or 36. In 1931, her father, Seth Yoder, came down with a severe affliction. He began to develop open sores on his back near the spinal column. And there again, medication in those days didn't take care of it. And these open sores finally led to cancer. And I don't know who took care of him during this time. Perhaps, no doubt, she had to fill in with some of the household management and so on. The household and maybe the farm duties, I'm not sure. But eventually, as the record goes, they said it turned to cancer. And he was in immense pain over a long period of time. And finally died in 1937, about a year and a half after her mother had passed on. And now she was an orphan, having lost both of her parents to cruel illnesses in the space of just about 18 months. Can you imagine that? Are there any 12-year-old children here? Can you imagine what it would be like to lose both of your parents to illnesses like that and have watched them die? And then times didn't get any easier, really. She was put into other homes and wasn't always treated well, as it often goes. And she had to work very hard. And eventually she ended up with Joe and Leah Carnegie, my grandparents. And that in itself must have been an adventure. She came to Stewart's Draft in 1943, right around the time when Ben B. Swarey, her future husband, also moved to Stewart's Draft with his parents. Once when we were visiting with our family, not so long ago, within the last year I think, she was telling us some about these hard times, and she didn't like to talk about them much, but we sort of had to draw it out of her. And I asked Mary, what got you through these hard times? What got you through these hard times? And she thought a little bit, and then she responded, I talked to God about it. He helped me. And she said that with such a sweet smile. And you know, this is how we knew her. This is how all of us knew her, who really knew her. She didn't have many friends back then, but she had God, and she turned to Him for comfort. And she just kept talking to God all throughout her life. And this is how she prepared to meet her God. What those hard times did for her, I think, those hard times must have created a fertile soil in her garden.